Praise be to God, the most gracious and merciful. May peace be upon you. Welcome to the third session of Discourse Analysis course with me, Dina Rahmawati. And for today, we are going to discuss about classroom communication. So as has been previously clarified, that this course will be divided into two major discussions. In the first major discussions, half of the semester before the midterm test, we are going to discuss about classroom discourse. So in the previous meeting, we have clarified that classroom discourse refers to interactions or communications that occurs in the classroom context. And last week, you were assigned to discuss these 3 points with your friends. The first is, why is communications in the classroom so important? And in what ways can teacher make effective use of their language? And what is the relationship, if any, between language used by teachers and learners and the learning which occurs? And thank you very much for the submission of your assignments, your analysis toward the video, and also your report, and also your report about classroom discourse. I have several comments, but the feedback will be given in the last slides. Okay, before we move forward, we should firstly clarify about these terms. First is about communicative competence and interactional competence. Probably this is the first time you hear the term interactional competence. I believe you are more familiar with the term communicative competence. I will not discuss further about what communicative competence is, but we better focus on discussing what interactional competence is. Okay, so interactional competence. So in classroom discourse analysis, we focused more on interactional competence, not communicative competence. Okay, as you can see on the slide, that interactional competence emphasizes the way in which interactions co-construct meaning and jointly establish understanding. So in interactional competence, the focus is not only on personal's competence in delivering message, but interactional competence sees the interactions, the process of giving informations or meaning constructions, from speakers, and how the listener, or here in the context of the classroom discourse, teachers and students, so how the students understand or interact or respond to what the teacher is saying. Okay, so it's a jointly established understanding between teachers and students in the classroom. And interactional competence includes both interactional and linguistic resources. We will discuss about these terms later on in the next slides. Okay, and interactional competence is highly context specific. The interactional competence required in one context will not always transfer to another context. So the meaning is depend on what the teacher is saying, and the topic being discussed, and how the meanings or the materials are understood by students. Yeah, so it's very highly complex. So people outside the context of the classroom will, if they do not present in the classroom, they will not understand how what is it? You need to be there to understand the meanings, or the delivery of the materials. And interactional competence, or IC, is more concerned with communications. As you know that communications is a process of encoding and decoding messages or messages or meaning. This means that speakers must pay close attention to each other's contributions and help and support where necessary. From this statement, it is seen that the way the meanings or the informations are delivered and also understood is very critical and crucial. So it sees from two angles, not only from the angles of the teachers or the speakers, but also see uh, uh, seen from uh, the angles of students or the listeners. So communication. So to answer the first questions, why then communications is important in the classroom? Communication in the classroom is so important because it underpins everything that goes on in the classroom. It is central to teaching, to learning, to managing groups of people and the learning process, and to organizing the various tasks and activities that make up classroom practices. Communications refers to the way in which language is used to promote interactions. According to Van Dier, interaction is the most important element in the curriculum. So when we talk about curriculum, we will talk about what is happening in the classroom or how a teacher manages the teaching learning process. And learning arises and the, another thing to note is learning arises not through interactions but in interactions. That's why communication interactions are very essential in the classroom discourse, and it is the teacher who orchestrates the interaction by stating this statement, or the statement highlights the key important role of teacher in the classroom, especially being the knowledgeable person in the classroom. He or she will be the main exposure of the students, uh, the exposures of the knowledge. Yeah, if it is in language uh, context, a language learning context. So the teacher will be the key role of the language input. Okay. From the sociocultural theories of learning, learning is largely a social processes. Yeah. That's why. Oh yeah. Why there should be discussions ab about this topic, of relating the communication classroom interactional competence, need to be seen from the social cultural theories of learning. uh, it sees learning as largely a social process. Learning is mediated by language. Learning involves interaction with an often more experienced other, and learners are scaffolded through the GPD, or zone proximal development. For I believe that probably for you it is the first time you hear the word ZPD, or zone proximal development. Yeah, this term is a concept developed by Soviet psychologist and social construct Vygotsky. ZPD refers to the difference between what a learner can do without help and what she or he can achieve with guidance and encouragement from a skilled partner. Or it is the distance between the actual development level as determined by independent problem solving and the level of potential development as determined through problem solving under adult guidance or in collaboration with more capable peers. That's what Vygotsky stated or how Vygotsky defined what DPD is. Yeah, scaffolding means helped. Yeah, and participation in is one indicator of learning. Yeah, learning requires affordances or opportunities or space. Then learning requires you need to be there. Yeah, you need to be have a role in the interactions uh, in the classroom. Yeah, and appropriations or ownership. Learning also requires these things. You have to own a sense of being in the process. You are the one who actually has a role of your own learning. Yeah? So these perspectives of social cultural theories is actually the foundational uh, uh, building blocks of communications classroom interactional competence, or CIC. Yeah? Okay, classroom communications. Uh, oh yeah, the second question is about then how teacher should design her or his language so that it is become effective for the teaching learning process or for the process of the students understanding toward the materials being uh, discussed. So what are the indicators of effective? So effective here means that language that helps students learning. Okay. And how about the third questions about the relationship between the language used by teachers and learners and the learning that occurs? Now, actually, there is no clear and exact response to these questions. This relationship can be seen as a strong one, where language use has a direct influence on the learning that takes place, a weak one, where there is some link between the language used and learning that occurs, or a zero one, where there is simply no relationship at all between language used by teachers and the teaching that ensues. And of course, this relationship is difficult to assess given that there are so many other factors that influence learning. However, the fact that this question is often asked does suggest that there is a relationship between classroom language use and learning. It is a question that underpins much of the discussions in our course. Yeah? The importance of language use in the classroom. Even though there is no clear cut about what the relationship is between the language used by the teachers and the language used by the students, but you will see that from this course, you will see that language use is essential for the process of teaching and learning process. Okay, as you can see from the slide, classroom communication is the core of classroom discourse, and language being used in the classroom. Yeah, that's why language is very essential, because it performs several functions, such as for seeking information, checking learning, offering advices, and so on. Through language, you can access new knowledge, acquire and develop new skills, identify problems of understanding, deal with the breakdowns in the communications, establish and maintain relationship. So, very important to know that language is the vehicle and the object of the study. So language is everything in the classroom context, okay, or in classroom communication. Without language, teaching learning process will not occur. Okay, there's several features. Okay, they're supposed to be asked. Yeah, features of classroom interactions: control of the interactions, speech modifications, elicitations, and repair. Okay, actually, these 4 points should be discussed by you, yeah, once you analyze the video I gave you. You have to see, so when we talk about classroom interaction, so we always see from these 4 features, yeah, how the control, so who is the one who have control over the teaching learning process. Okay, so the dominant one must be the teacher. Yeah, so the relationship or yeah, the teacher and student has a asymmetrical role in the classroom, which means that the teacher is more dominant. She or he is the one who takes control over the teaching learning process in the interactions. Okay, so they are not, they do not have equal relationship. So their role is asymmetrical. Okay, the next feature is speech modifications. Yeah, another thing that you have to see in the classroom interaction is speech modifications. You have to see how teacher, yeah, modified his or her speech so that student can better understand what she or he is explaining or what she or he is saying. Yeah, there are several strategies that the teacher employed to modify his or her speech. And the first strategy is linguistic resources. She or he will use linguistic strategies, yeah, to modify his or her speech through, for example, the use of simplified vocabulary, simplified grammar, and clear pronunciations and slower articulations. And the second strategy is interactional sources, where a teacher use the use of transition signals, markers such as so, alright, now, so on. As you can see, if you see the video, yeah, that you watch, you can see that the teacher use now, alright. Okay, that's actually the interactional sources that the teacher used to uh, give signal of transitions in the teaching learning process. And the next feature is elicitation. Elicitation is the way or strategies used by teachers to get learners respond. Get learner response. It is typically elicitation entail asking questions. And it is used to elicit response from the students and for checking understanding, guiding learners toward a particular responses, and promoting involvement and concept checking. We're going to see these features, yeah, later on in the transcriptions or in the analysis of the video. And the second feature and the next feature is repair. Repair simply refers to the way in which teachers deal with errors. It includes direct and indirect error corrections and the way in which teacher identifies error in the discourse. Yeah. The basic choices facing by a teacher in doing this is ignore the error completely, yeah, or indicate that an error has been made and correct it. Indicate that an error has been made and get the learner who made it to correct it. And indicate that an error has been made and get other learners to correct it. Okay, those are the feature that you have to see or when you analyze classroom interaction. Yeah, so you have to see from the control of the interactions. Yeah, with the dominant who has dominant role in the classroom, how the speech is the teacher's speech is modified, and then the elicitation feature and also repair. And the next thing, the next things is IRF, or initiations, response, feedback, exchange structure. So another things to see or to analyze in the classroom discourse is this concept. Yeah, the concept is developed by Sinclair and Codhart. So in the classroom, yeah, or the structure of exchange in the classroom discourse always covers these three moves, yeah, initiations, response, and feedback or evaluation. Some experts use the word evaluations instead of feedback. Okay, for example, so can you read questions to Junior? So here, teacher initiate a response from the students. Okay, or in the linguistic term, it is called turn taking structure. Yeah, so who give the floor and who take the floor. Yeah, so here the teacher initiate or give the floor to the students, and then the student here, the junior, reading a book and says that, where was Sabina when this happened? Is the response, yeah. And T, or the teacher, right, yes, where was Sabina? In unit 10, was she? And this, the teacher's statement here is categorized as feedback, yeah, to strengthen or to indicate that G response was correct, and then followed by another questions. Yeah, in unit 10, was she? Okay, these are the example. Yeah, how you should analyze the interactions or the classroom discourse that occur in the teaching learning process. Okay, this transcriptions was taken from the video I gave you. Yeah, but some of the utterances has been deleted. Yeah, so I only provide several very short or short examples or extract, yeah, taken from the video, just to show you how to do the analysis, or how to see or to analyze the classroom discourse in the video. Okay, the teacher here said, okay, number one is touch. Okay, and okay, you better watch. I forgot, you better watch the video. Oh, too bad. Yeah, can I display the video? Wait for a minute. Okay, very good. Okay, wait.
Okay, now, number one is touch.
Okay, here from the video you can see that the teacher, yeah, from the speech modification, the teacher has modified her speech. She spoke slowly to the student, yeah, touch, and also use gesture. Yeah, gesture, it is the non-linguistic resources, yeah, in the strategies of modifying the speech. Okay, touch, while she's also pointing her fingers, yeah, her fingers to his palm, to the palms, and
Very good. Touch the numbers.
touch the number, touch the number. Okay, and she repeatedly says, touch the number.
Touch the numbers.
Okay, she required the students to do what she's doing, yeah, touching the number.
Touch. Everybody repeat. Touch.
Okay, everybody repeat. Everybody repeat, yeah. So she's the one who has a dominant control of the teaching learning process.
Touch. 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 Very good. Touch. No.
Okay, here, the repair. No, not do, but arch, okay?
Touch. Repeat. Touch. Very good. Okay. Now, action number 2 is point to. Everybody, point to. Point to. Touch.
Okay, from the this video you can see from the features of the interactions, the features of what was it? The features of classroom discourse, that is from the controls, the one who has control over the teaching learning process, and then the speech modifications, yeah, and the repair, or in short, from all the features, yeah, that appear in the video, you can instantly assess or evaluate, yeah, the types of the teaching learning, or the levels of the students in that teaching learning process. Yeah, so is it are the students second language learners, or are they the foreign language learners of English? What level are they in? Seeing from the, what is it, the first feature, that is control of the interaction, you can see that the teacher has a dominant. She's the one who orchestrates, yeah, give directions to the students and to the teaching learning process. She controls the precise contents of the learners, yeah, and what the topic should they discuss, yeah. For example, okay, the next is now, alright, yeah. Those discourse marker indicates that she is the one who has dominant control of the teaching learning process. And from the speech modifications as well, you can see that she spoke very slowly, yeah. So you can know that the students must be beginner, yeah, or elementary, are in elementary level of English, yeah, because she's the one who has a major exposure, who has a major role in providing the students the examples of English words, yeah, that the students are learning. Okay, And the next things that I need to clarify here is the classroom discourse versus systemic functional linguistic. Yeah, as you have as you have learned in the previous course in functional grammar, you can know that systemic functional linguistic, I use the terms interchangeably. Systemic functional linguistics is one of approaches to language use analysis, in which sees that language use or SFL sees language use from its method functions, that is from additional meaning, interpersonal meaning, and textual meaning. Yeah. So here, SFL can be a tool, to analyze classroom discourse. Yeah. So if you want to use SFLs as one of the tool, in analyzing classroom discourse, so you have to recall, everything that you have learned in functional grammar or systemic functional linguistic courses. Yeah. So now I would like to give feedback, on your students' assignment. Or your assignments. There are two major things that I would like you to know. Okay, frame is the form mechanic. The way you organize your idea into an essay is very important. So you are now in the 5th semester. Yeah, you have been learning three writing courses. Yeah, three writings. Courses such from sentence based writing, paragraph based writing. Is there genre based writing and also academic writing? Oh, you are learning academic writing this semester, right? Okay, so from the mechanics, I guess you have to improve your ability in organizing your ideas into a written form. Yeah. So you have to recall, if I want to write a report, in what types of genre should I write it? Okay, should I write it in argumentative essay, or should I write the report in any other types of genre? Because each type of genre has its own structure, so you have to follow the structure to make the ideas organizations better. Okay, so the message is conveyed, can be conveyed clearly. And also the paragraph development, the way you developed your idea or your thesis statement really need to be improved. So you have to understand, okay, a paragraph has always has a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentence. I see from your report, there are only 2 sentences for a paragraph. Okay, so you have to recall what you have learned in writing courses. Okay, and then the second relates to my previous statements about the organizations of report. You have to understand elements of essay. If it is an analytical paragraph, then you have to organize your idea into this organization. In the introductory paragraphs would consist of thesis statement, setting your stance or your point of view about the subject to be discussed. Okay, and then you have to provide claims. The claims relates to the assignment, relates to the control of the interaction, relates to the 4 points of the features of classroom interactions. There are control of interactions, speech modifications, elicitation, techniques or strategies, and then repair. So the claim should relate with these 4 points, and then you provide evidence or evidences from the video. So you have to make a transcript, or just I gave you just now. you have to provide taken directly from the video. And then the last is interpretation, so you relate the evidence with the claims that you have made to the claims that you have made. Yeah, of course, yeah, it needs time, but I believe by knowing this, yeah, or by giving you the feedback like this, I really hope that in the next assignment you can be better. Yeah, probably, I guess that's all for today. If you have questions or you are still confused with uh, several things which relates to our discussion today, classroom discourse, just post your questions on the WhatsApp group. Okay, I guess that's all for today. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.